You see, that's the thing with China. It uses a mixture of pressure, persuasion, and sophisticated diplomacy to expand its diplomatic reach and to score some impressive diplomatic points, like what China is doing in West Asia. You see, it's trying to replace American influence in this region. First, China brokered peace between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And now it could be pursuing Saudi Arabia to pull out of the Yemen war. You heard that right. The word is that Riyadh could soon be pulling out. There is no official confirmation yet, but signs abound. Number one being, Saudi Arabia is talking peace with Iran, the same Iran that backs the Houthi rebels in Yemen, who in turn are fighting the Saudi-backed government. Basically, Iran and Saudi Arabia are fighting each other in Yemen, but now that the two are looking to shake hands, chances of a direct impact on the Yemen war are pretty high. Because experts say it is unlikely that the China broker deal did not have some understanding that Iran would hold back arms supply to the Houthis in Yemen, or something on those lines. Which brings us to single number 2. Let's just rewind 9 days. On the 20th of March, the two sides in Yemen swapped prisoners. Among them were 15 Saudis. Reacting to this, one expert said the move, quote unquote, indicates the way ahead for all parties. So what exactly is this way forward? Is it a possible de-escalation? Time for some quick background. The Saudi-led military intervention in Yemen began in 2015. Why? Because Riyadh feared the prospect of Houthis taking control of Yemen and of Yemen becoming a satellite of Iran. And this is where the two countries are located. Yemen and Saudi Arabia share a border. So in March 2015, Saudi Arabia began air campaigns in Yemen. And ever since, some thousands of people have died in these Saudi-led airstrikes. This is according to UN estimates. Today, Yemen has become the face of the world's largest humanitarian crisis. At least 377,000 people have lost their lives. 60% of these deaths were caused by hunger, unsafe water, lack of health care. Over 10,000 children have been killed or injured. 80% of the country's remaining population needs aid, needs protection. Could the shifting sands in this part of the world give them some hope? Could it open avenues for resolution? Could the thaw between Saudi Arabia and Iran create a landscape for a peace talk or a peace deal in Yemen? You see, here's one thing that the Chinese President Xi Jinping is absolutely clear about. He wants to be a peacemaker in Ukraine, in West Asia. So he will not leave any stone unturned to broker peace and to show to the world that while the region was at war under American influence, China is here to oversee peace. In fact, just yesterday, on the 28th of March, Xi Jinping and the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had a long phone call. Chinese state media CCTV reported that during the interaction, Xi Jinping said that China and Saudi Arabia will make more contributions to promote peace, stability and development in West Asia. And a day later, you have reports of a possible intent to pull out of Yemen. Could it be a mere coincidence? Or could the long phone conversation have been the basis of the decision regarding Yemen? While Xi Jinping wants to score diplomatic points, pulling out of Yemen also helps Saudi Arabia in more ways than one. First, it gets to focus on Vision 2030, which is a dream project of the Crown Prince involving reduced dependence on oil, diversification of the Saudi economy, also development of healthcare, education, infrastructure, recreation, tourism. Saudi Arabia is looking at a new future one where the war does not quite fit in. Also, the war in Yemen has not been doing Saudi Arabia any good. If anything, the Houthis have been hell-bent on disrupting the Saudi oil industry. In the last couple of years, Saudi oil facilities have been struck with drones. There have been attacks. Is this scenario sustainable? Riyadh can do without this headache and focus on getting a facelift, focus on opening up, on building a $500 billion futuristic city, NEOM. All that it needs in return is an assurance that the Saudi border will be safe. Will China step in to get Iran to give this assurance to Riyadh? Probably it already has. Exiting the war also lets Saudi Arabia zoom out and focus beyond the immediate region, look for partners beyond the existing strategic partnerships. And this is again where China comes in. Beijing is happy to tilt Riyadh's axis away from the United States. I don't know if you know this, but China has already invited Saudi Arabia to join the SCO, or the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Have a look at this report. The approval was given during a cabinet session, during which the Saudi King Salman also authorized the launch of technical and vocational training between Riyadh and Beijing. He also thanked China for facilitating good neighborly relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran. So you see what's happening here. China is using its sophisticated diplomacy to clear the clutter from the Saudi discourse and make enough space for Chinese influence in the region. And guess what? It all seems to be working just perfectly. So this is China. Fresh out of the pandemic, it wants the world on its own terms. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.